Hello everyone, John Rush here, Drive Radio. My son Richard Rush is behind the camera, and this is going to be the long version of the new car review, which we do on a weekly basis, of the 2016 Acura RDX. And you can see they've done some restyling on the front, some restyling in the rear. We'll give you a full walk around the vehicle. We'll go for a drive, come back and do the interior just as we always do. So let's get right into the review. Check out the front end. We'll start here, and it's got their new front lights that they're now putting new LED front lights, I should say, that Acura's putting on their vehicles, which, by the way, just work absolutely fantastic. I really do enjoy them. It's called the Jewel Eye LEDs. That's what's on the front of the car. They've also got LEDs in the rear. And by the way, this car is actually U.S. News and World Report Best Luxury Compact SUV for the money. It's also Consumer's Guide Automotive Best Buy Award in the Premium Compact Crossover and SUV. And as you're coming around the side, as Richard was just showing you, really a good looking car. Have I enjoyed driving this car? Absolutely. It's really a great car. And as you compare this car to some of the other cars in its class, you know, for example, the Lexus NX, which we just drove not that long ago, frankly, this car feels roomier than the NX does. I didn't look at all the cubic inches and the cubic feet and so on to figure out whether or not it really was or not. What I will tell you is 295 horsepower, V6, 24 miles to the gallon, and this car works really, really well. They redid the all-wheel drive on this particular model, and for this particular year, for 2016. It's got more, how do I explain this? Basically, more rear torque to the rear wheels, which actually gives it some stability when you're not in the ice and snow and so on. So just normal driving, it's got more rear control, which makes it drive much, much better than some of the earlier versions. Good room in the back end. I'll show you that here in just a little bit once we come back from the drive. But really, a really great car for the size, and I can see why it's one of the best buys on the market. This car, as equipped, and there's not a lot of extra features on the particular model that we drove. And some of you are asking, you know, would you give the range of what this vehicle starts at? Well, this vehicle, as we test drove it, was $43,000 and some change, and that's how you buy it. There's really not a lot of options in this particular vehicle as it sits right here in this version of the RDX. So around $43,000. Really, really a nice car. Let's go for a drive. We'll come back and go through the interior just like we always do. All right, we're now behind the wheel, going to go for a drive in the 2016 Acura RDX. And I'm going to go through a few other interior features just because it's so hot out right now in our Colorado weather. We are in the middle of, actually, kind of the beginning of August, I should say, not the middle of August, but the beginning of August. So let me walk you through a few things. As we talked about, or we will talk about throughout the review, this does have lane keeping assist, and that's different than lane alert. In other words, this car literally will drive you between the stripes on the road. It knows where the lines are. It watches that with the camera up above here, and it knows where the lines are, and it keeps you between the lines. It actually will steer for you. Now, it won't do it for a very long time. If you keep your hand off the wheel for too long, it actually will alert you in the screen in front of you and says, you know, please put your hands back on the wheel, essentially is what it says. Make sure you're steering. It also will brake for you. It tells you if you're getting too close to the car in front of you. It's really, really a very, very safe car. Richard's wife commented on the fact that this is one of the safest cars she felt in when she was actually riding, even as a passenger in this particular vehicle, because of all the safety features that it's got. So all that is right here, and to the left of the dash, you can control the parking assist, open the rear hatch, the anti-skid, or the skid, you know, taking the skid control off, I should say, is over. Traction control is what I'm trying to say, off. You can actually do your cruise control, adaptive cruise, that's all over here. Your lane keep assist is all here, how close you are to the car in front of you. Of course, you can answer the phone, turn the radio up and down. Wipers are over here, which again, it's got the automatic wipers on it, where it's a rain sensing wiper, automatically comes on all by itself. Let me put it in reverse real quick and just to show you that part of it. So the backup camera that it's very nice. You can actually, it's got the grids on it where you know exactly where you're going, so that part works out really well. Put it back in park. And it's got the dual screen. We've talked about this before with Acura, so it's got kind of a dual screen. So right now it shows you what radio station we're on. If I go here, it actually does the same thing. If I want to change stations, it's simply a matter of a touch of the button, or I can actually tune manually by going there. One thing I wish it did have is, I wish it had another knob someplace where you could actually tune with. That's a feature that I do like. Not all cars have that. Not a big deal. But if I want to switch around and go from, you know, the info, it changes the screen up above to info. Fuel economy, which I haven't talked much about so far. I've been averaging around 28 miles to the gallon. My son Richard's averaged around 24 miles to the gallon. So that's about where we've been driving the car. So really good fuel economy for an almost 300 horsepower V6 in this engine. Audio sources, you click here, walks you through everything as far as Bluetooth, FM, all the different things. It's got a great system. It sounds really well. If I want to go to nav, I hit the nav over here. It goes right to where I want to go nav-wise. Same thing with my phone settings. And then there's also just main menu settings you can go to there. It's a very, very easy system to navigate. It's kind of an interesting system where you've got two screens to deal with, but you can actually control everything in the upper screen by using this knob and the enter button, or you just touch whatever you want to do when it comes to what you want to do in this area here. So again, Acura, you did a great job. All of the heat, you know, HVAC, all of that is here. I showed you earlier. I will show you, I should say later. The heat, the cooled seats, we'll get into the interior a little more and show you that, but it does have heated and cooled seats, which I'm going to turn mine on right now just because it's so hot outside. And I tell you what, let's take a quick drive. One thing that's going to be hard to show you just because of where we're at right now is the lane departure, side of the fence, or the lane, I shouldn't say lane departure, the lane keeping assist. And I want to make sure I keep saying that because it is a keeping assist. It keeps you in your lane, tells you what's going on, and even steers for you if you start to veer out of the lane. But as you can tell, it's a very quiet car inside, and even for a short wheelbase, I'll go over a big bump right here. It's got a very smooth ride. It works well. The all-wheel drive system works well. Again, I really enjoyed driving this car. It's a very comfortable car to drive. And as I said in the opening, it feels bigger than some of the cars that it competes with in its class. And I think that the way they've kind of set up the center stack and the interior, making it feel a little bit more open in here, rather than having a center stack that comes all the way down and through like some of its competitors do. It just opens up the interior a little bit and makes it feel roomier on the inside. And it's great. I mean, everybody that rode in this car with me so far in this past week, no negative comments whatsoever. Everybody that got in this car, from my wife to my intern to Richard and his wife, everybody that's been in this car has thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed driving it. It's one of those cars you just need to go out, get behind the wheel of, and go drive it. So with that, let's go back. We'll do the interior, and then I'll give you my opinion of the 2016 Acura RDX. Hope you enjoyed the drive of the, again, 2016 Acura RDX. Again, new car, not a totally new car for 2016, but a total refresh of this car for 2016. Get out, check it out at your Acura dealer. We'll go to the rear. So again, hold down the key fob. A couple of seconds, pops up. It's all automatic, which again, this is a entry-level luxury SUV. So some of the things that this car doesn't have that you'll get on some cars, you know, that are a little bit fancier or go above it, I guess you could say, in size and so on, is in a lot of cases they'll have automatic folding seats. This does not have it. It's got little levers back here that you actually flip, so if you need more room in the back, you flip these. Now, I will say this, they fold right down. You don't have to do anything. I'm not pushing anything. The seat belt didn't help that out. All of that just went down all by itself. Now, one slight drawback that I noticed in this car, and again, not a big deal, not a deal killer. You'll notice, and Richard, if you can show this, when this is flat, laid flat, it's not really flat. So if you're going to put something in here and you're looking for something that's flat all the way in, this car does not do that. As you can see, there's about a 6-inch height difference, maybe even 8-inch height difference, going up to the front, you know, going up to where the seat is folded down to coming back into the back. So there is not the ability to have this be totally flat all the way it is, and you know, all the way to the front. Not saying that correctly. It's not flat all the way to the front of the middle seats, or the back seats, I should say, like some other models are. So something to think about with the seats up. In fact, let me put one of those up real quick and I'll show you. There still is plenty of room behind the seats as far as hauling, you know, groceries, gear, things along those lines. I mean, really, there is a really nice deep area here. Really great storage capability. That it's not slanted too harsh back here, which again gives you a lot more up and down room for cargo that you've got in the rear. And those are some of the things, folks, that you really need to get out and look at. And we talk about this a lot, but we really do mean it. I know it's hard to carry all of your gear into a dealership and you know, go through that whole, you know, apparatus. But if you're going to use the vehicle, you need to figure out whether it's going to work for you. And I didn't say that correctly. If you want to see if the vehicle is going to work for you, you need to use the vehicle. And if you've got something in particular that you think you're going to be hauling in the vehicle on a routine basis, you need to make sure it fits. I have been in many, many situations over the years with some of my customers because I've been in the automotive repair and accessory business, to where somebody buys a car, then they bring it in to have it modified so that they can get whatever gear it is that they've got inside of it. You know, they're putting on car top carriers or a lot of other things, when if they would have just bought the right car in the first place, that would not have been a problem. So just something to think about. I'll tell you what, we're going to stop the video for a second. I'll jump around into the middle seat, or the rear seat, I should say. Okay, I want to show you a couple of things before I jump into the back seat of this car. A couple of features that are nice that make this car a little more quiet on the inside, and something we don't show you a lot of, but I think it's something to point out. Not all cars have this. Double seal, as you can see here, down here. So when the door shuts, you've got a seal here, makes the interior a little quieter. One thing I didn't show you when we close the back hatch is it is automatic up and down. So there's a button that you hit on the hatch, which will actually lower it. Okay, so everybody always asks me, how big am I? I'm 185 pounds and 5'10", okay? So in the future, I guess I should say that in every single video, because not all of you watch every video, but I'm 5'10", 185. The front seat is positioned for me. I'm going to climb in right now. I've got more than enough room between me and the seat in front of me, so this is set for me being 5'10", and as you can see, even if you were 6'2" or 6'3", you've got plenty of room to come back and still have plenty of room here for the back seat passengers. It's a nice, comfortable back seat. There's nice, soft touch material throughout. There is a little center console, or armrest, I should say, that flips down with a couple of cup holders and vents. That's it, though. There's no power port. There's nothing like that. Again, this is an entry-level luxury SUV. They've taken a few of those bells and whistles out, and again, this car retails at the low 40s, 43 and some change to be exact. So I'm going to jump around to the front seat. Let me climb out and I'll show you how that part of it works. Again, nice, easy access in and out. Even for a lady, it would be really easy in and out. Of course, standard child locks back here. And when you shut the door, it's got a really nice feel to it. Nice and, just a nice way of how the door closes, the way it sounds. And to me, that's something I'm really kind of particular on is, the way a car door closes tells you a lot about the car, how quiet it is, how sturdy the vehicle's built. Do things move around? Do you see the door moving when you close it? Things like that. Those are things that I particularly look at, especially when you get into the luxury market like this particular vehicle is. Let me climb around to the front seat, and then I'll give you my opinion of the 2016 Acura RDX. Okay, sitting now in the front seat of the 2016 Acura RDX, and again, nice soft touch throughout. They've done a good job on that. These seats are not these seats are heated and cooled. You can see from the perforations, typically when they're perforated like that. Not always, but typically that means there is some cooling. You can see that here, cooling, and the heated seats here, a couple of cup holders. Nice storage compartment down in here with all your power ports and such there. Of course, glove box over on the right-hand side. Fairly roomy glove box here, and a nice center console, which really is nice and deep, good amount of room. Storage in the side pockets that Richard just showed you. Nice sound system in this car, which we talked about during the driving portion. The one thing I do like, and I wish all cars did it, you do have a nice feature up here where you can put your sunglasses in it when not in use, and of course the sunroof is up above, which we showed you in the driving portion. Your standard door opener controls for the sunroof, that's all up here. Interior-wise, really nice layout. Acura, you've done a great job. The steering wheel is standard for what's in the Acura lineup. This does have the rain sensing wipers, which I don't believe I mentioned in the driving portion, so they automatically come on and off for you. I actually got to test that out yesterday with some rain we had here. Really a nice car inside, interior-wise. Really nice to drive, very quiet. The power band works great. Again, we talked about some of that in the driving portion. But let me pop around the other side and just give you my overall opinion of the 2016 Acura RDX. All right, I'm going to give you my opinion now of the 2016 Acura RDX. And I typically like to give the cons on the front side, pros on the back side. Doesn't matter one way or the other. But really, con-wise, I don't really have any. This car works well. It's got a great power band as far as the engine is concerned. It runs well. It looks good. It's got good styling. Yeah, I really don't have anything bad to say about this car. Acura is well known for its longevity, how well they're made. This is a car that'll run well over 300,000 miles on down the road if it's true to what Acura builds in the past, which cars are getting better and better as time goes by. What are the pros of this car? It really is a nice size. It's not as large as some of the other SUVs that are out there, but again, you're not paying as much in the price. And what I mean by that is this car competes in the same size or the same class as all the other cars that it competes with. You can go bigger when it comes to the SUV market, but size-wise, this car works great, especially if you're a family of two, maybe you've even got a couple of kids, a family of four. Are you going to put you know, two full adults in the middle seat, or I should say in the back seat? Probably not, but that's not who this car is designed for. So if you're into the luxury, entry-level, luxury SUV crossover market, great car. I talked to somebody the other day about this very car as we were driving it, highly recommended it to them. Chances are they're going to probably go out and buy the car. It's a great buy for the money. What I would recommend you do is, of course, go out to your Acura dealer, get behind the wheel, drive it, and when you do that, please let them know that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you. All right, folks, hope you enjoyed this last review that we've just done. And as always, we say this, but we really do mean it. Get out, drive the car, put yourself, your family, your pet, whatever you're going to do with the vehicle, please get out, get in it, drive it. Make sure when you go and do that, you tell them John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you. For all of our other reviews, content, things that we have, you can check that out at our website, drive-radio.com. Please go and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Drive Radio. And of course, you found this on YouTube, because that's where we put all these videos up. Our channel, Drive Radio, all one word. Go check out all the rest of our reviews. Like it, comment, do whatever you need to. We want to be here to help you pick out the right vehicle for you, because as we always say, there's really not too many bad vehicles made today. There's just bad vehicle choices. So with that, I hope you have a great evening, great day, whatever it is. Just enjoy. And again, thanks so much for watching.